This is the What's Next podcast, Houston's #1 platform where I invite creatives to share their journeys and give us a depiction of their visions. Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next?
Yo, it feel like
Yes.
95. Sachi
Yes.
body. Biggie
Yes.
all that ballin' is a hobby. No wildin' in my wallies, them valleys, no Pilates. More way get you
More way.
Nah, that's these Spumante. My crystal ball. See, crystal with that. I saw the sign like Ace of Spades. That Ace of Spades get cracked me like cheers to the money guy.
Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to episode number 58 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. Before we get started with the episode, man, I want to go ahead and I was talking to Jordan Sinnett last episode, right? And I want to start this episode off as a devout Christian. I have neglected to pray on this podcast before, so I want to start off with a quick prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, man, you know, as boys out here trying to chase their dreams amidst COVID-19, and I just want you to bless us as we venture off into doing what we love to do. Just bless us, bless the world as they go through COVID-19, and we just ask that you come up with a cure as soon as possible, Lord. In the meantime, COVID-19 won't stop what we got going, Lord. In your son's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Yo, listen. Welcome back to episode number 58 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. Before we get started with the episode, Xay, I want to introduce our social media handles so we don't disrupt the flow of the conversation when we get to that point.
All right. My personal Instagram is I'm Xay with the X, and my brand page is Still Hungry Inc.
Okay. Can you spell those, please?
I'm Xay is I am I am XA and 3 Ys, and the brand page is Stay Hungry INC.
Okay, and I follow both. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, the new generation is not used to saying their government name, so I'll show them how it's done. My name is John Ross Dike I, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at John Ross Dike and _visionary. If you would, connect with me on LinkedIn, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my fan page on Facebook, and visit my website at stillvisionary.com. Directly in front of you, I have all my merch. You can, listen, the pay button is up, okay? So whenever you listen to this episode, whether you're streaming it or watching it, the pay button is up. You can shop stillvisionary.com. God damn it. Listen, man, I would be remiss, ladies and gentlemen, not to acknowledge my man Three Bubble, Cleon Solomon III, the owner of the White Room. We're back in the White Room, and for the past few episodes that we've been here, I haven't mentioned that we were back in the White Room, but the White Room is a recording studio, the LFTP recording studio on the north side, right down the street from Purrrp High School, where I teach and where he attended couple of years ago, is where I do this podcast from time to time. So Three, when you watch this, man, I love you, appreciate your love and support, and you know, I couldn't do the podcast weekly without your establishment as part of my locations. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You know, Houston, Texas, this young man right here to my right, we go back.
Way back.
We go back. I say that because when I got my first contract to teach at Purrrp High School, his class of 2019 was the first class that I taught, was teacher of record for. And, you know, just to watch these kids, I always say to the faculty and I always say to my students now that I miss y'all class.
Yeah.
Because when I got into the classroom, man, I was 30 going on 31. and it was like teaching my little brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Math, when all we did was just joke around and have fun, man. So I really dearly miss y'all, and it's good to have you here.
Appreciate you for having me.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, let's get into it. You called me the other day, right? Mm-hmm. And this is when I felt like, man, you know, I'm the numbers might not show it with the streams and the subscriptions on YouTube and the followers and on Instagram, but what it is showing is that you know, I'm making an impact, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get off into that conversation a little later on, but your friends, if they don't make it to the end of this episode, and I know that opening the market up for, you know, the new generation to come on also opens up my viewers. If they don't make it to the end of this episode, what should people take from your creation of what should people take from this episode, and what should people take from you and your journey to starting a t-shirt brand?
Well, in my journey with this, like basically like just like make an impact on the world. Like everybody want to be remembered by something. So like when you do something, like it has to be like useful, like in some way, like whether it's wearing my shirts and my hoodies, like when you see that, like my brand, you'll remember me. So like even when I'm gone and like you'll remember me.
Okay.
So, like it's just like basically like just build a legacy while you can, because tomorrow not promised.
No doubt, no doubt. Listen, man, I think this is going to be a very, very fun episode for the simple fact that, like I said, I've watched you grow from when you had the flat top. And when you cut it, I was like, okay, this kid is now becoming a man. Okay. But I've watched you grow for a long time. You know, we traveled together, being a part of the basketball team at Purrrp High School. I've watched you lead. I've watched you stay committed, right? Yeah. And I wish you nothing but abundance of success in your journey, man. So let's piggyback on this phone call. You called me, man. And I just want to be as transparent as possible, because, you know, this is what it's all about. You know, sometimes when you're starting something, you're starting a journey, you want to piggyback off of how people did it before.
Yep.
What were their steps? Why did they do this? And ask for advice in terms of which way to go, right? So let's dive into that phone call right quick. Let's talk about that before we get off into the meat and potatoes of the episode.
And so like basically, like I was talking to my girl one day, and like it was like a couple of weeks when I thought of the whole brand thing before I like really just got it like together. And I was just thinking, and I was like, I'm a call Dike or like text Dike and see if he can give me some advice, because you know, since Purrrp, you have been, you know, selling shirts, making your brand or whatever. So you know,
that's a fact. Go ahead.
So you know, like, and then I always see you in your brand. So I was like, I told my girl, like, I was like, man, when I start making these shirts or whatever, I ain't wearing nobody else stuff, like just me. But like, nah, I was just like, I know you didn't done it, so I was like taking as much advice, because you need knowledge when you come into something like this. So. Yeah.
So creativity comes from experiences, and I remember the first couple of years that I started at Purrrp, right? When I look back at those pictures in my phone, I wasn't big on branding. It wasn't until, and I give all credit due, one, to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but then two, to Purrrp High School, because there were so many things at Purrrp that I learned. I learned how to press T-shirts at Purrrp. I learned how to design logos at Purrrp, even though I don't incorporate that into my business now, but I learned all of those things at Purrrp. And it was Miss Vela who walked me through the steps on how to press my first shirt, because the first shirt I pressed it backwards. Yeah. Right. And so Purrrp taught me how to do all these things. Creativity comes from experiences. Let's talk about the first time you came up with the brand, and what that conversation was like within yourself.
And all right, so like one time, really I came up with the brand in high school, like the whole like motto of to stay hungry, and it was in high school, senior year. Like I wanted to, like, it was one day after the game we got like killed. So I just remember like in the car on the way home, I was just thinking, and I wanted to quit. I really did. And I had to, you know, shout out to Coach Morris.
Shout out to Coach Morris.
I had a conversation with Coach Morris and whatever, but like he kept me on his track. Like, you know, and him and Coach Joseph also. Shout out to Coach Joseph.
Shout out to Coach Joseph.
But basically, like, they were just telling me not to quit. Like, it'd be all right. But, like, basically, like, from that moment, after that, I never, like, if I start something, I'm not going to quit because, like, and that's what the whole motto of Stay Hungry come because, like, you got kids out here, they want D1 scholarships and, you know, and you look at it, you got 5-star recruits and this and that. And my brand is just being, like, never, it's a never enough. Like, that's where the never full comes from because you never get satisfied. But, like, when you succeed, you still can't be satisfied. So I feel like that's where the whole big idea of the Stay Hungry came from. And I feel like it relates to a lot of people in different ways. Like, because you're not financially stable right now. Once you get there, you got to act like you're broke. Like, you got to keep it going. And, like with, when playing sports, when you get to college, keep going. Next level, keep going. Like, you can never get full of anything that you're doing in life. So, I mean, that's where that whole idea came from. The
tenacity that I've seen in you in the last couple of weeks, especially this last week when we're going through this whole COVID-19 thing, right? The tenacity in you to, hey, Dike, I'm ready for the podcast. I'm ready for the podcast because I knew we were going to get this podcast going. And the reason why I had to pray before this episode is because when I was, right now we're going in school right now. We were supposed to be back in school this week. Yep. So we're embarking on a new journey of trying to do school online.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So, pardon me. So while we're doing that throughout the day, I'm on the hub. I've never been on the hub so much than I am right now. And I'm texting all my kids in any way that I can get them. Hey, you need to check the hub. You need to do all this. You need to do all that. And I realized that, before this episode, I was like, man, is this COVID-19 going to stop this podcast?
It ain't stopping me.
Is it going to stop it? So the tenacity you've expressed in trying to get to talk about your experience, man, I just have to commend you on it because it's going to take that and much more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm really independent when it comes to like certain things and like especially when I put my mind to something. So I feel like with me having this brand, it's like a way for me to get out there. Like, I'm not no dancer. I'm not really big on social media. So like this is my way of like getting out there. So when people buy my clothes, taking pictures in my clothes, and it's kids in my age that got 10, 11K on Instagram. So they're all on the Explore page. And like when I sell my shirts or whatever, like they tag me in their captions or whatever, and I can keep building clientele like that. And hopefully, I pray that it goes how I want it to. Yeah.
There was a kid that I saw on Instagram once that was, he might have been like 12, 13, who Diddy actually reposted because he was trying to start his own brand. I forgot his name. I forgot his search on Instagram, but I used to watch him and his movement and how he spoke so eloquently about his brand, right? And so, in my mind right now, I'm thinking, listen, it's going to take a lot of support, right? It's going to take a lot of hands involved in this movement. And, one thing that I'm going to do as a big brother of yours is to help you promote any way I can.
Appreciate it.
And this is how I want to do that. Houston, Texas, you already know. Episode number 56, Damaria Daniels came on the podcast with a new single. Listen, we're going to get it going because I got a new tour right here, right? And this platform is made for it. Xay.
I'm feeling this.
Let's get it, man. Damaria, what up? Sir John Monet, what up? We in the White Room, Houston, Texas. The podcast is going. Episode 58. Let's go. I learned to DJ at Wall Trip too. I want to say shout out to DJ Bruno one time for the air horns, baby. What's going on? Houston, Texas, we're here. Episode 58. Let's go. But it's hard to find me. You're gonna need support, man. You're gonna need people wearing your t-shirts just for the hell of it. Damaria, what's going on? Sir John Monet, what's going on? I won't show up for free. I only come for money. Let me know. If you wanna show, send my fee before. I got what they asking for.
ask me for a quote. Yeah, I deserve it, baby. Don't try to short me, baby. That's interest on your payment. Highly educated, top 10, I graduated. Hustle is my profession. Trying to
You graduate top 10?
Come in classes now in session.
That's cool, because neither did I.
Need your full attention, put you in the right
Boys never in
direction.
class.
I got what you want. If you wanna learn, let me put you on. Let me boss you up, boy. I know the game is rough. You need a woman that know how to double up. Let me boss you up, boy. I know the game is rough. No, you need a woman that know how to stack it up.
Houston, Texas, man, as long as I have a platform to showcase my friends, my people, I'm going to do so. That single, Boss You Up, is from Damaria Daniels' upcoming album, Femme Fatale, which is dropping this summer. And I just want more ears and eyes on it. Okay, if you're listening to this podcast, you need to also watch this podcast as well to see what we look like. You know, we young African-American, well, I'm not young anymore, but we African-American men doing what we got to do out here in the midst of a pandemic, right? So, you know, one thing that I noticed that went well with my brand, and I'm trying to just, you know, build on it, is that I looked at your Instagram page, right? And I said, okay, that's good. Your Instagram page is naked. Yep. You got 3 photos on there. It's not overcrowded, right? And the 2 photos that you have that I noticed that are really prevalent on your page are the photos with you and your girl.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've gotten, this year alone, I've gotten more compliments or more eyes on the brand when my wife and I wear our brand, right? And so I was going to tell you, and I wanted to save it for the podcast, that as many pictures as you can. I mean, because for me, what I do is I overdo it. You know, my wife tells me sometimes, yo, you need to relax. Again, you need to relax. But for me, I don't know no gray area. Yeah. I'm going, look, I got a brand that represents me. I'm going to wear it no matter what. I want you to wear it no matter what. And on my Instagram page, that's all that's going to be on that page, right? So how do you intend to utilize your social media page? You got a nice following, right? Mm-hmm. How do you intend to utilize your social media page with your girl and all to be able to showcase your brand?
Well, we have like since we've been making like clothes and stuff, we've been getting like other things that we can match like aside. So when we do take pictures, I'm probably gonna hit up CC. CC, if you see this, hit my DM.
For sure.
But yeah, like I'm gonna have a couple people. I'm gonna try to reach out to a couple people, have them wear the tees, have CC take some photos or whatever. But yeah, I have a couple things like set to the side and then I'm gonna make like a couple things because I know a couple people that ain't reached out already before the shirts drop. Mm-hmm. And they've been asking for like, you know, one for her and one for me. Okay. Like stuff like that. So we'll put matching. As long as it got Stay Hungry on the front, we'll put whatever on the back y'all want. And yeah, but like a set aside, but we got a couple things that we got matching. So we got a couple pictures coming soon. Okay.
So you have, okay. I like that preparation. You know, we were talking the other day and you said that when we talked about where you could get the wholesale shirts and hoodies from, you got busy, you got to work. I like that. You got to work. ASAP. Can you count how many shirts and hoodies you made before you went to work that day?
I made like 40 shirts, like 8-9 hoodies. Okay. And I was just in the span. I had to go to work at like 4. So I had started at like 10. Okay. I got to it ASAP.
Why did you choose shirts and hoodies and of those to start pressing on?
You know, I wanted to start with shirts and hoodies because one, you know, hoodies is like just a thing. Like it don't matter. Like schools, you gonna hear take off your hoodie all the time. So like, I feel like hoodies is like just a good thing to get your stuff out there, especially if like the hoodie look nice. Mm-hmm. But shirts, you know, you buy 3-4 shirts because like when you look at a shirt and you like it from like other point of view, you might like it for a different reason. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like shirts is just like another way of getting out there, and plus like my pricing is available. So I mean like affordable. So like it's not too much. Like, cause I know people that started brands and they already trying to get $30, $40 for a shirt, and that's what draws people away. Like, as you build, that's when you increase the money. Like, so like, I feel like that's what separates me from other like brands and like starting and coming up, because my hoodies and stuff would be affordable, and then when I make like uniforms and shit, oh, my bad. My bad.
You good? Good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, like
Go ahead.
When I make like uniforms and stuff, it'll be affordable. So like, and then once you build like a steady clientele, so like they'll be waiting for the next thing to come out, or then they like asking for you to do opposite stuff that like you probably wouldn't do. But like, I feel like just like, you know, just being out, like just trying to get my stuff out there, and like shirts and hoodies right now. I wouldn't make sweatpants right now because, you know, it's gonna get hot. So probably my next project is probably like shorts.
Okay.
Like for girls and boys. So that'll probably be the next thing, and like tank tops, crop tops, stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, just starting off, I think that's a good way to just get myself out there.
Okay. Well, you know, I think that the easiest thing to market is clothes, or the easiest form of marketing is putting it on clothes, because you don't leave the house without those on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It is coming up into T-shirt season, so people always going to be in T-shirts of some sort. So I think that's the best way to get your message across, right? So, listen, I got a couple of new segments on the podcast, right? And we'll get into it. I wanted to introduce this new segment. It's called It's a Vibe, right? The only way that I'm going to, so I had a guest on my podcast that I went to college with. Her name was Monique Monique Aboye. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name, Monique. She said that her genre, she's an author, published author, and she said that her genre is new adult. When I heard her say that, I said, that might be my audience to new adult. But because I've been around students for the past 6 years of my life, kids, right? I would think that a part of my genre involves the kids, right? So the first kid I brought on here, you know, is Purrrp. And I want to see, Houston, Texas, if this is a vibe for you. The name of this segment is called Is It a Vibe? And this segment is featuring Purrrp, who was on episode number 48 of my podcast. Let's get it.
Da Vinci.
I want to say Acres Home's finest, but my wife's from Acres Home. Shout out Purrrp. Shout out Wall Trip JV basketball team. 10-3 this year, baby.
All this pain around me, think I'm losing my mind. Hold me down. Hold me down. And I still got trust issues I ain't afraid to admit. Don't know who really got my back, but it is what it is. Who hold me down?
Yeah.
Hold me down.
DJ John Dollar.
Keep it all a stack. I wanna be with you, but I got trust in you, that's nothing new. Whenever you need somebody, you know I can be the one for you. I just wanna know who gon' ride. You can hear the pain in my voice, you can see it in my eyes. Sick of all the capping and the lies. I just wanna know who gon' be real and hold me down. Everything I've been through is like who by my side. All this pain around me, think I'm losing my mind. Hold me down. Hold me down. And I still got trust issues I ain't afraid to admit. Don't know who really got my back, but it is what it is. You hold me down. Hold me down. Like I'm numb to all the pain and I don't know who I can trust. My circle got smaller when the times were getting tough. When I was at my lowest, I had no one to keep me up. So I've been grinding on my own, trying to make it out the mud. I used to show love, now I'm showing no emotion. That's why my heart caught my pain run deeper than the ocean. So who gon' hold me down, cause I don't know who I can trust. All I ever wanted was some loyalty and love. With everything I've been through, it's like you by my side.
Oh,
All this pain around me, think I'm
man.
losing my mind.
I'm laughing because that facts hit so hard. When it's placed right, it hits so hard. Oh man. Okay, so again, I apologize for doing all that sniffling on the mic. So listen, for me, in this new lane of podcasting, right? Because I've always wanted to do a podcast, right? It's big that I model my podcast after the people that I find inspiration from podcasting. Yeah. I'm gonna echo the same question to you when it comes down to making T-shirts and, you know, just starting a T-shirt line. Who did you look to for inspiration to begin? Like, who are your top 3 people or so that you were like, okay, I like the way they do their T-shirts, and let me start a brand. I'm gonna incorporate pieces from them to start my own. All
right, so I really I don't have 3. I have 2.
Okay.
All right, so it's a brand called Wealthy, and like I've been seeing them because like when I was in high school, it's a high school player named Simon Wheeler. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he in his day in the life, he like promoted them, went to the Wealthy store or whatever, and it caught my eye. And I feel like with this type of business, like that's what you look for. So it caught my eye. Went on Instagram, kind of like scrolled, looked around and stuff, and I really liked how they like format their T-shirts. 2, I probably say you because I seen you promote your brand every day, every day. So like I feel like that's something that catch somebody's eye too. Because if you're in a workplace or if you're like a usual at like say you go to Starbucks, but you're a usual, so they know you every day. They see you wearing your own stuff every day. Eventually, they're gonna ask like, "Whose stuff is this?"
No doubt.
That so like I feel like just like repeatedly wearing like it doesn't matter if you go to the grocery store. Just saying somebody gonna ask you like, I wore my shirt to Kroger the other day, and an older lady was like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "This is my brand." And she's like, "Oh, that looks nice." And see, so like just catching the eye is like what's important to me, because like once you catch the eye, then it's gonna be like I kind of want that. Like so it's like I feel like catching the eye is like really big right now. So and I feel like social media is a big platform to do that, because you find somebody that got 20K, or it's like celebrities reaching out to like people that's coming up too. So like you catch your favorite celebrity or artist wearing it, then you be like, oh yeah, I need that. So then that's what brings me up and brings my name up. So
okay. What song's on your mind right now?
I've been listening to a lot of Nipsey.
Okay. God damn it! Rest in peace to a great one. Go ahead. What song in particular?
I've been listening to Blue Laces. I've been listening to Blue Laces on repeat like a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, man, I'm gonna do 2. Of course, last week on the podcast, I had during the It's a Vibe segment, I played Echo Remix's You. Of course, that Boss You Up record by Damaria is the song that's on my mind right now. But my homeboy, who's coming on a podcast later, maybe this year, he used to rap with a group of my friends in college. They were called the Niceguys. I play their music as the intro song to the podcast, right? But this record right here, for me, when I heard it, I was like, man, that is, if I've never heard an industry record before, that is it, right? And I think that it really ushered in a new wave of how rappers are not doing 316s anymore. They're doing more of 232s, a bridge, hook, bridge, and then they end the song. So their songs are not as long as anymore. But this song's on my mind, Think Big.
Still did me on park benches and a starter clever. Hard to remember, now hard to recall, but painful to look at the painting of a fool as an artist for all the bull. Call it audible like pagan seeing a bliss. The events of my legal fourth quarter, I saw the need before the snap. And as my life's quarterback, no, I can't get this quarterback. Divine intervention to play, y'all just call it raps. And I dare referee to call it back. Who in hell won't challenge my Hail Mary? Pretty is Halle Berry, my savior, I'm favored. Highly very, the public fucking with my flavor. Now I'm basically cherry. My girl left, I miss you more, shed you more. But this guilt I can carry no more. The world's next, and no rest for the wicked, no rest to fix it. At quiet times I see riots.
I think that the name of the track is called Think Big, right? And when you are embarking on a journey, like this is not a journey that ensures success.
Yeah.
You don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to start a t-shirt line, and then all of a sudden, let's say a year later, you're successful. It's going to take a lot of pushing and grinding. But the thought process of it, hold on.
I put feet on the track, double entendre,
That wasn't my mark yet, but the thought of it, hold on.
pretend they say I'm patient, I'm practically IV, but I'm confident cause I conquer shit.
Realest IE that I've seen. Yeah, so you have to think big.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes your thought process has to outweigh all of the negativity that's going to come your way. Right. Yeah. And so that song, I play it every time that I'm feeling like my thoughts might be bigger than somebody else's doubt.
Yeah.
Which is frequent. Right. So I play that song a lot to just remind me that it takes a big thought to be able to push forward to what you want to do. Yeah. And that's in anything. It just so happens that in my lane is production, and in your lane is production, t-shirts. I do t-shirts as well. So in my lane, that's that as well. So Think Big is the song that's on my mind, right? Mm-hmm. So let's continue on. The reception of the t-shirts to your homeboys in the class of 2019 has been what?
Man, I don't even know. Like,
okay,
you know, I don't really talk to like that many people from that class. So it's like
from your class, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, my class. I did walk the stage, but no, I don't really talk to many. Like I talk to a few now and then, but I don't really. I wish all of them the best, but I don't really talk. We don't associate, but it wasn't we ain't fall out, nothing like that. It was just like just growing up. Yeah. People grow apart, so it's like wish them the best, pray for them every day. So it's like hoping they're doing good. So.
You know, I was talking to my homeboy, and I realized that too. When I was really close. When I went to high school, I went to a special program. Yeah. I did the engineering program at Booker T. Washington. And I realized that, you know, the friends that you make in high school are not the friends that you keep when you're getting married, when you get to those critical points in your life, right? Mm-hmm. But, I would hope that the years that you spent playing basketball with these guys, you know, you could still cultivate that, because you're going to need that level of support when you get to that time period where your t-shirt designing and just your brand consumes your mind. Yeah. Right. And so my homeboy was telling me one time that it's not about selling t-shirts to your friends. It's about selling t-shirts to the masses, because your friends are, you know, those are your default. They're going to buy one or two. Right. But you need people all around the world to buy. So I was just wondering how their support has been, and how does that mess with your psyche?
You know, like I have a couple of my friends that like already been like hitting me up trying to pick up shirts and whatever, but like I'm not really worrying. Like those sales are gonna sell. Like I know those like the most definite sales. I'm trying to sell to people that I do not know at all. And like, I feel like when you sell like I feel like when you have a support system, like even though like we could be family, we could be bros, they're gonna support you regardless. But if I don't know you and I like how you're working, I like your work ethic, I like your everything, I'm like people you might not know support harder than people you love. Like, and I've seen that time and time again. So it's like I know I'm gonna definitely sell to some of my homeboys, which is cool, and I appreciate all the support. But it's like I want to expand past my family and past my friends, because that's where you're gonna expand as a brand, as a business. So that's more what I'm looking for. I want to get out there. Like, you know, I can sell 20 of my homeboy shirts. That's cool, because that's 20 people that's wearing my stuff. But I'd rather sell the 20 nobodies that I do not know, because they might, you know, they can go to anything, a function, wearing my shirt. The colleagues can ask them, oh, where do you got this shirt from? And then boom, and then that's more clientele for me. And so I want to go I want to get big. Like, I want to get out there.
Have you had a lot of sleepless nights yet?
Man, I ain't sleep for like 2 days straight. Like just thinking, like just to not even like I get off work and the only thing I'm thinking about is the brand. So it's like I'm like just working, like just the grind, like thinking ahead. Like I feel like just like anything you want to do, like as long as you're willing to grind, people gonna see it eventually. And I'm patient, so I'm willing to wait. If it take a year, 2 years for me to blow or get big enough where anything happens, and I'm willing to wait. Yeah.
So today is March the 25th, 2020, and we have 282 days left in the year, in the 2020 year. What do you hope to attain in 282 days?
Man, I want to sell. I just want to get my brand out there. Like for real. Like I want to get these. I want to get some professionally done pictures. Get them on the brand page. Try to get the brand page on the Explore page. I really want to use my social medias as a platform. Like I want to get my social media. So that's why on Instagram, on my story, you see me pushing like follow. And the more like they don't understand, but like when you follow in and stuff, then you get put in like the suggested and stuff. So like I just want to get it out there, and hopefully once I get some pictures done, put them up there, get on the Explore page a couple times, and hopefully catch somebody eye that like has a bigger platform than me, and then we can do some business, and then I get out there for real. But until then, I'm just gonna keep working.
Okay. You never showed some of your stuff. Let's see some of your stuff. That's one thing. When I pulled up to the crib today and I saw you in your shirts, I was like, okay, this kid is ready. I'm glad that you didn't. I'm glad that you didn't come to this thing in some other shirt.
See,
promoting something else and then never fool. So describe the logo. Talk about the logo.
All right. So like, as I said before, the never full is just like basically saying like never be satisfied, like anything. And the stay hungry just came from like basically like just the grind. Like you just gotta stay hungry. I got red. I have like 12 colors. Yeah. 12. Yeah. And I made some for females. And I also made a couple hoodies. Yeah. Which got the logo in the middle. Then the little money bag with the hands on the hand. Okay. And then on the hoodie it says never full. Okay. So yeah, I just been working.
Who helped you design the logo?
My girlfriend. Shout out to my girlfriend.
Shout out to them girls that hold us down, man.
I'm telling you. But she helped me with a lot. She creative too. So she liked to be behind the scenes though. Yeah. So it's like I appreciate her because a couple things like for all the girl shirts, that's all her. Like the men ideas I came up with, like because I'm thinking about I'm right now I'm thinking about the next shirts I'm gonna drop. So but like all the girl shirts and some of the hoodies, she came up with like a couple of ideas, like you could do it like this, you could do it like this. Just shooting ideas out there, and then boom, we put it together, and then it look good. We gonna rock with it. So
wait till them first pictures of you and her coming out with matching shirts come. I remember, any logo that I've ever had, and I can say that to you because you prefer the old logo over the new one. It is what it is. I mean, people gonna like certain things, people not gonna like certain things, right? Yeah. And just like that logo, I wear my new logo all over the place, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think we were out to eat one day. It might have been at IHOP or something, and somebody was like, "Hey, I like your logo." But I think that she was more enticed to say that because she saw it on me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? And so whenever we're out and we're wearing that Still Visionary Inc. logo, the eyes, when they see that unit, that team wearing this one brand, it really sparks questions and curiosity from people.
Yeah, I feel like couples, like starting anything though, it's like better because like, it's a lot of married couples out here, and and even like in high school, like you got high school couples, they ain't been together for 1, 2, 3 years. So it's like matching is like always been a thing in couples. So like I feel like having those matching things for couples as like starting a brand like help too, because like they gonna take pictures. You're gonna take pictures with your significant other, like regardless. So it's like, you know, I feel like that's a good way to get it out there too, like by using couples. So I might even have a couple couples come out to a photo shoot, take a couple pictures. So it's like, so I feel like that's essential when it's coming like to upcoming, like the pictures. Like pictures is kind of big to me right now because if I can get the pictures out there, then it's gonna hit somebody's eye. So, and you know, Instagram, like you can blow up off anything now. And
that's a fact.
So I feel like, so social media, I feel like if I could tell anybody anything coming up after me, probably like use social media to your advantage. Like, cause like, why not? You got people blowing up on TikTok. And like a couple months ago, TikTok was corny to people. So it's like, you got people making money off TikTok, Instagram, just becoming verified. So it's like, I feel like just take it and use it and just run with it. And once you get there, keep going. Yeah.
Do you have plans to look at fashion design or anything like that in the future?
I do. I've been looking a little bit, like as of now. I'm just keeping everything, like my options open, keeping it in perspective, because soon, like if I get big enough, I'm gonna have like where I drop in seasons. Like it'd be like certain things I drop here, certain things I drop here. And, you know, after I get like a business license and all that stuff, and that's when I'm gonna like make a website. So everything won't be just going off of Instagram or
no doubt.
And such. So
no doubt.
But as of right now, like for them to order and stuff, I have them like DM me on the brand page, and then we can set whatever up they want. Then we get it like that.
You know, I'm smiling because I was thinking about the time when we were when we got our ass blown out, paused by Madison. And we got on the bus, boy. Y'all boys was clowning. I remember I was so pissed off at you because we got our ass torn up in Madison.
Yeah,
right?
We did.
You score that bucket and you start talking trash. And y'all got on the bus, man, and y'all were just going off. You remember that? Remember how it just went off? I was so pissed because for me, that desire to lose, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate to lose, and I hate that when we lose, we're not humbled by it. You know what I'm saying? And that same desire pushes me to always wear my brand or always promote or always do this podcast. It really needs to touch every facet of my life. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just learning to have that same fire and desire in everything that I do. Yeah.
And speaking on basketball, that reminds me the game we played. What was that? My freshman year. We played Yates at home.
Yeah.
And you know, we lost by like 8 points or something, but their JV was going crazy.
Windmilling.
So Coach Tenson was going, like, you could tell it was just in his, like, he was not having it. So, you know, as freshmen, we still kids. So we on the bus laughing, joking. We talking about who got dunked on, this and that. So then I swear I would never forget that long speech. And, like, it was just like, I felt like he didn't want us to, like, take their loss. Like, he wanted us to learn something from them, like losing, because, like, you can see JV wasn't happy with it. So, like, and we were laughing, but we still lost. Like, it's not like we won or anything. And then he was just, like, heated. And, like, he called me, like, a couple weeks ago, too, like, asking me how I was doing and stuff. And I was just telling him what's going on. I ain't telling him about the brand yet. I'm probably going to call him.
Yeah. Let him know. Let him know.
But like, just, I feel like just that mentality of just being satisfied with, like, losing or any aspect of life. Like, if you're just going to throw it off, then I feel like you're not really using, like, your well-being of being here. Because, like, if you're not going to do nothing, like, I feel like you got to, like, stand for something. Like, you know, you got people, if you're going to make money, like, at least, like, be known for something. Like, don't just, like, not be doing nothing. Because I know a lot of people just not doing nothing with their life. And it's like, I am seeing people, like, waste their talent. People that could have been D1 athletes in this, but, like, they just stop pushing themselves or just stop grinding. And that's not me. I got to keep grinding, like.
No doubt.
You know?
No doubt. What else is new, man?
Nothing, man, really. Just exploring my options, keeping my eyes open, learning, like, taking as much knowledge as I can.
Yeah.
I feel like just growing outside of, like, because, you know, coming out of high school, hit you hard. Like after that 3 months of summer, you had your little fun or whatever. But then after that, then like, you know, you start seeing what the world really like. Yeah. So just becoming more like open to things and taking as much knowledge as I can. Talking to my grandma daily, like
that wisdom, that old wisdom,
like daily about just we can sit on the phone 30 minutes, 5 minutes, it don't matter. Like, but I'm taking something out of every conversation because you just never know. Because I'm just taking everything in. So
yeah. So most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next?
What's next is, I feel like me going forward in my journey, the next thing is like just me keep pushing myself. Like I can't stop. Like just cause like if I do become successful, which I pray I do, but it can never be enough. Like, and it's not me being greedy, not being like none of that. It's just me like staying humble and gonna keep grinding. Cause like down the road when I have kids, I'm gonna instill that into them too. Because like you become satisfied with life. Like, okay, your parents could be rich, but you haven't worked for nothing. And so, like, I feel like me getting out the mud and, like, grinding, like, this is going to keep the desire and fire for me to keep grinding. So I feel like just, like, what's next is me never, like, stopping.
Okay. Listen, man, I don't, you know, I brought a couple of goodies, right? And the first one is the exclusive SVI T-shirt that I give to every creative that comes on. It's a black SVI T-shirt that I give to every creative, man, as a token. It lets me know that you're on the podcast. And in 2020, I started putting the What's Next podcast T-shirt, the one that I give to every creative that comes on the podcast, as well as a new edition in 2020. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing your journey with my platform. Do you have anything else?
Nah, man, I just thank you.
No doubt.
Like outside the podcast or whatever, like the little side conversations and stuff.
Oh, we're going to have a lot more of those. Yeah, we're going to have a lot more of those. Houston, Texas, we're in the White Room. We're in the White Room. Shout out to my man 3. Shout out to my man Edric. Shout out to the love of my life, my wife, Kizzy Danae Farmer Dike. Shout out to Waltrip High School. You got any shout outs?
Shout out to my girlfriend.
No doubt. Say that again.
Shout out to my girlfriend. Shout out to my homeboy Kobe. He gave me a couple ideas also. Pretty much. Shout out to my grandma. Yeah,
no doubt.
But like, yeah, I'm just working.
No doubt. Houston, Texas, man. You already know what time it is, man. And I love this shit. I love it. Share this podcast with somebody, man. Houston, Texas, I do what I do for myself to prove that I can do it for others. Peace and blessings.
Yo, it feel like 95. Sachi on my body. Biggie, jiggle, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. And them valleys, no Pilates. More weight, get you more wet. Nah, that's these Spumante. My crystal ball, I see crystal. I crystal y'all with that. I saw the sign like Ace of Spades. That Ace of Spades get cracked me like cheers to the money guy. The Willie. Buy them bottles. And then they spill these liquors. Yo, salute my dude. I see you, dog. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice and naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up. Over and done. Overdose. Yes, we did it again. Sipping with no